Now, fires, the next on our list. Remember that these generators are internal combustion engines burning flammable fossil fuels. And if these systems are not maintained or there's some kind of defect, these systems can catch fire. And just like a car, they can overheat if they run for too long or if there's an internal safety that fails. Manufacturer defects can also play a role, so it'd be important to try to find out what the make and model of the damaged generator to see if there were any safety notices or recalls that were issued for that model. And like I mentioned in my disclaimer, they simply just installed incorrectly. Now, this is a picture of a portable generator that was installed permanently in what I can only describe as a wooden doghouse. This is a recipe for disaster, and this one almost burned down the entire home. Now, generators can also be the victims of fire damage as well. Now, this one may not look damaged, but the intense heat from the fire caused damage to the internal circuitry and did a pretty good job of melting the backside of the case on this particular one. Now, the meter testing confirmed the damage to the circuitry of all those internal systems. And this poor standby generator didn't stand a chance with the intense heat from this garage fire. Now, last but not least, we've got wear and tear. Okay, these are combustion motors, very similar to like a car or like your lawn care equipment, like your weed whacker or lawnmower. It has to be maintained. And if you do not check on these systems or have them serviced, they can develop many of the same issues as a poorly maintained car. This one had an oil leak and starved the motor until it just stopped running and seized. This example shows debris that's built up, whether it's wind-driven debris or maybe animals bringing in debris. And this can easily clog up air filters or worse, be sitting next to the exhaust and catch fire. And speaking of animal damage, these systems are not immune from chewed up wires, okay? Now, these are all issues that can be identified with normal maintenance before that power outage comes and the generator doesn't work. Now, a large number of these issues can be identified or have to be identified through meter testing of the numerous components. A good technical review is going to include a review of the entire system to rule out as many of the possibilities before determining one or the multiple things that cause that system to fail. Now, it's important to know that generators, especially standby generators, need to be serviced more like your car, and that is regularly. Most of the generator installers are going to offer some kind of like yearly service where they're going to check things like error codes, battery condition, oil and air filters. Every time you think about servicing your car or your, like, let's say HVAC system, which is usually once or twice a year, you should have that generator serviced at about the same interval. Now, that way, it will always be ready to transfer power during the next power outage.